Hey guys, Sunday night. I just finished at the pool. Had a good little workout outside in the baseball field. They have a big track. So right beside the baseball fields, there's a huge track, and there's two football posts. I went and did a whole bunch of chin-ups, whole bunch of pull-ups, whole bunch of leg raises, push-ups, body squats, sprints. Did a couple laps around the track. Felt good just to be in the sun. That's kind of what fitness, self-care, mindset, nutrition, that's what it's all about. Like, trying to not get it perfect, but add all sorts, like a sprinkle of sunlight, a sprinkle of body weight stuff. Call it CrossFit if you want to. It's like, people will call things and categorize things whatever they want just so they don't have to do it. And I used to do the same thing. And I noticed that, when I started doing body weight exercises, my lifts, they improved in all other areas, and they still do, and I'm way less injury prone. I never have to worry about that. I'm always stretching, starting out light. And the body weight stuff really helps stabilize, I think, your core especially. I have a really strong core, and my form is really good on all my lifts. And going into this winter, I'm able to really get into the wintertime arc, because I think the wintertime arc is really all about compound lifts, eating meat, getting sleep, resting, healing, going for walks. It's about putting on muscle, but it's also about putting on mind muscle too. Like, you want to put some muscle up here too. And okay, how do we have the perfect wintertime arc? It's not just the gym. There's so much more than that, because when I was a teenager and I was starting to get into fitness and even a little bit of mindset when I was a teenager, because when I look back, I had a strong desire, like, to go to boot camp. They took away boot camp when we were teenagers, because I remember, like, right when I was, 12, 13, a couple older kids I knew, they went to boot camp. And when they came out, they could do like 100 push-ups in one go. And they were pretty jacked, and, for their age, I thought that was pretty cool. And I've always thought there was something pretty badass about just disappearing for a couple months and reflecting, sitting in the quiet, because I always needed to be around friends. I could never make any decisions for myself. Even when it came to girls, I would let my friends impact my decision making. And I screwed up so many good chances for myself. Like, you only get so many chances as a guy, and when I was a teenager, like, it's just so stupid how I would let, what people think of me influence what could have potentially been really good. And, like, yeah, it's so stupid. So we live and we learn, right? But that's why back then I was thinking about, it'd be so cool to just disappear for a couple months, work out every day, just watch, like, Rocky and Van Damme movies, and, plot your revenge on people with your success and your lifting and your compound lifts, and, add like an extra pound or two to your squat every week, whatever. It's always going up. Like, the wintertime arc is about challenging yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like all of it. You got to work with all of it and challenge yourself. Go to the sauna, go to the steam room. Tell yourself you're not leaving when you first start for 10 minutes, and then move up to 15. You ain't leaving here. Your discipline's keeping you here, when your body's going to be like screaming at you with everything to get out of that heat. It's over 100 degrees. Are you going to be able to fight your mind? Because your body can take it. You can take it. And you're going to thank yourself after, because what I can guarantee you is every single time I haven't been able to actually stick with what I think and what I say, and when I'm like 9 minutes or 8 minutes or 13 minutes or 14 minutes, and like I feel I feel off. Like, I should have finished those last 2 minutes. What's wrong with me? Because you have to push yourself, because there's no one else there to push you. There's no one else there to be mean to you. There's no one else there to yell at you and tell you to do your push-ups. So in the beginning, I recommend yelling at yourself when you have to, really, because sometimes that's what it takes. You know, I would go for my hike every day and I would scream at myself, drill sergeant style. I always wanted to go to boot camp. Why don't I create my own? That's what it's all about. You know, drop down and you give me 50 push-ups right now. And on the 40th one, you're like wondering if you can make it. So yeah, it's a mental test, and there's not someone there to push you unless you hire a coach. Then there is. Otherwise, you got to be like, you know, you got to come up with stuff. So yeah, you know, and the thing is, you build resiliency in tough times. I just want to touch on that briefly too. You know, when you've been through some hard stuff, you've built some thick skin. That's resilience. Resilience is thick skin to life. You know, you've got what it takes to succeed because you've been through crap, and you're still standing, and you're still smiling, and you're still kind to people. You still care about people. You give off good energy. You care about energy. You care about karma. These things are character, and that is priceless, my friend. Money can't buy that. And there's a lot of people in the world today who are lacking character. So really, when you think 5 years down the road, character is going to be worth even more, and it's going to be seen as even more, because I know already, guys, in 2025, when I meet someone who has who's very respectful but not a pushover, there's a difference between being like respectful and a people pleaser. I've been both. Now I'm leaning more on the respectful side because I've done some work. But a lot of people, they're people pleasers, and they wonder why people don't treat them and look at them like they're the actual kind, good people. Because there's a huge difference. You know, I made a video earlier talking about this a little bit, you know. Everyone says, oh, I'm going to be a good person. I want to be a good person. Till it actually comes down to what it takes to be a good person. Setting boundaries, talking, taking a stand for someone who's not there when everyone else is talking about them. Standing on your morals. Living up to your full potential every day. Doing the right thing regardless of the consequences. Calling out crap. You know, not dumbing yourself down to fit in with people. Doing the right thing. Like, not everyone can do it. And when you've been through stuff and you've built thick skin, you have a stronger appreciation for the things you can't see. So there's something to be said about that too, because, you know, even Jordan Peterson says some of his clients who come from the most absolute earth-shattering, heartbreaking background you could imagine are some of the people with the highest morals and ethics in their life you'd ever meet, he's ever met. Whereas the opposite is true for the opposite. People who come from no hardship are absolute sociopaths. You know, Jordan Peterson's just comparing polar opposites of people he's met and categorizing a lot. That he's seen it so much, he's able to say that. That's crazy. There's something there. That's why the things you've been through are actually priceless, and they can be turned into something strong. So yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday night, and I hope you all have a great week ahead. You know, start your Monday off strong. Do what you got to do to be proud. Do what you've been putting off. It's gonna feel good. Don't beat yourself up, but shame yourself and guilt yourself in a healthy degree. You know what that is. We all know what that is. We've just been blind to it for so long. So we know what it is, and we need to get back to it. Food for thought.